Alright, let's go ahead and do some jet work on this carburetor. Somebody wanted me to do a video on how to change the jets. Oh man, I stepped on a spider back there. Oh, where's my screwdriver at now? There it is. Anyway, these are L-Trico K-Drons. Normally they just have one wing nut. Somebody's tricked these out for a high flow application. They took the stand off the top of the carburetor and used all thread. Scooter does this too. A little K-Dron trick. Get a rag out of our box of rags here. I love these box of rags. Great stuff. They Sherwin-Williams sells them. Buy a whole box of rags for like 12 bucks, and you get quite a few rags that way. So we're going to loosen the top of the carburetor here, and I have to go get an 8mm wrench for the idle jet. We're going to see where we're at with the main jet. Pull it out, show you how it comes out, show you how to get to it, all that stuff. So I guess while I'm doing this, I can tell you guys how I got my name. Besides the obvious, you know. When I first started making videos, I just upload them, you know. I didn't really have a name, and didn't have a lot of subscribers. Tommy Shoe was one of the first, and we used to talk a lot more than we do now. And Tommy used to tell me that I needed a name, that I needed to name my garage something, and he sort of came up with the vwdarrin thing. Between him and Gaydon, my buddy Gaydon, my IT guy, he's the one that gave me the computer to get started making videos. We thought it'd be cool. Of course, I think he's changed his mind since then, because he probably thinks I spend too much time on YouTube, which can happen, you know. This is very much like a you know, a Volkswagen carburetor, just larger. So they're very simple to work on, which makes them very good carburetors. Great carburetor for somebody that's just beginning to get into the Volkswagen scene. You know, you can learn how to synchronize them. They're very basic, so it's easy to synchronize them. I think I finally got this linkage pretty decent. This is your idle jet. That's located right here next to your accelerator pump, and then your float pulls out the same exact way. You have little locking tab, and then you just grab it by the brass works and pull the float straight up. We've run these carburetors dry, so there's no fuel down here. Your main jet will let me see if I can zoom in on that. Alright, so this is our main jet. Like I said, this carburetor is laid out a lot like a stock Volkswagen carburetor. We have our pump nozzle here. This is what gives the squirt. We have our accelerator pump diaphragm here. We have our accelerator pump ball right here. This, if you ever lose your accelerator pump and it's not the diaphragm, you need to pull this plug out, and there's a little ball in here that gets stuck. So we'll pull this jet out. This is our main jet right here. There we go, just crack it loose and then you can stick your fingers down in there and pull it out so you're not tearing the jet up. Okay, so there's our main. The 150, that's huge. So we'll see what we have on the bench over there, and we'll definitely make a jet change. These are really tricked out. They machined this, put larger venturis in here. They put a vacuum port in for the vacuum advance on the distributor, and they've also made a larger base plate throttle shaft. So a lot of work in these. They're made for a little larger engine, but we'll shrink them down and make them work for here. It's a little sharp edge right there, and you can see where the air has been tumbling, getting dirty right there. All right, so that's one carburetor down. We'll go ahead and back that up a little bit. I'm going to go over to the other side here and reposition the camera. What are you cats doing out there? They're in the box. They have found a box. Well, it sounds like Hans is back on my dinner, so I'll go ahead and pull that other carburetor down after I choke down some Taco Bell. So I'm going to get this done tonight, get it rejetted so we can fire it up tomorrow. Get all my tuning tonight, my changes. So yeah, did some work today on the Nova. Me and Hans, he came out and he really he busted his ass on this thing today. He did a really good job. He got the Hakamoto cross member out. We got the dry shaft loop out, and I pulled the rear end out for me. So we got the 9-inch out. We'll get that slid out of here. We'll get it all pressure washed, pull the chunk out. It's got a spool in it now. So a spool is where both axles turn all the time. It's also got a 430 gear in it. I might change that to a 355 and tame it down a little bit. It's set up for a small block. I love this rear end. It's a super good one. So that's that. And what else did we get done? We got the pump pulled off. We got the shocks pulled out of there. I was bragging about the floor not ever giving me any trouble. And you can see the floor split right there where the shock was bolted. So we'll have to do some repair to the floor there. We're going to put in a shock bar now under the car there. Talked about that the other night. We'll weld in a bar from the frame rail. I don't want to crawl under there. I'm going to go eat right now, but got the battery cable out from underneath there. Probably going to have to replace that as much as I don't want to. It's all cracked. So yeah, I don't want to take a chance. That's all copper there. Try to strip that and sell it. I don't know. But did manage to get all that cleaned up. It's looking really good in there. It's all nice and rust free now. And the floor of the car is looking pretty good. You got some more scraping where the dry shaft loop was at and stuff like that. But all in all, not too bad. But I am going to do, what the heck was that? I'll get these recad plated when I get the backing plates for the disc brakes done. So they'll be the original gold. You can see a little hint of it right there. They were sort of a gold cad plated when they came from Lakewood. Got the old decrepit fuel system there. Good enough to go, you know, 9s on the bottle. I had one more pump for the for the nitrous on the front of the car. But there we go. Got everything out of there. This side looks pretty good. I'm going to throw a couple more spot welds in some of this, because it looks like it's not real tight in some spots. I glued it though, you know, so I probably shouldn't get too carried away. But you know how it is. Can't stop once you start. So there's the back, there's the bottom. Gotta get those hideous muffler mounts out of there, do some scraping back here, and then I think we're gonna pull the frame connectors out next. Pull those out, pull the leaf spring pockets and the leaf springs out, and once I get all that, I'll be able to paint the floor pretty easy and start bolting it all back together, you know. But I gotta clean it up, make it nice. We'll make it safe anyway. It's pretty hooked together, I'm not gonna lie. Scary shit, but it worked, you know. And safe really wasn't important back then. It was more about just getting out there and racing it. So I think Gaten's got a fuel cell for me, one that he bought for his car that was too big for the sand car. He said I could have it or whatever. I might get that from him. Here's calipers. They need to be rebuilt, cleaned up. They got rusty sitting in there. But you can see they say Telco Marine on them. So that's the heavy duty one's got a fairly big piston in there. So, alright, let me go ahead and shut this off. I'll upload this and I'll come back out after I eat. And I'll probably I probably won't turn the camera back on. Basically, you know, the jets go in just a reverse of what we did. Just to give a quick overview, you got the idle jets go on the side here, screw into the side. You got your discharge nozzle here. Got your venturi there. You got your emulsifying tube. You got your main jet down in the bottom there. And basic float. Not much to these. They're pretty simple. That's why I like them. There's not a lot to go wrong. So, alright guys, I'm gonna go eat. I'll come back out and pull the other carb apart. We'll make the jet change, and I'll get the bell housing bolted up to this too tonight. And then we'll just have to find a starter and stuff tomorrow. So, till then, take it easy. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and pull the other side apart, and got a flashlight. Got my rags, got my magnifying glass so I can see. Get another rag laid out here for this side. Yipper, this one's got a sticker on it. Never know what you're gonna get. It's like a box of chocolates. There's our assortment. Let's go ahead and get this one apart real quick. So Greg, you should be able to do these carburetors no problemo. They're pretty basic. The kits are very cheap for them. I think you can buy a kit for a K-Run for under $20. And there's very few moving parts, so. Only issue we might have is they might be a little large for this motor, these Venturis. But we'll wait and see what happens when we tune them. They're, the jet's quite big, so that's going to help quite a bit. This is for the coil. Get these pulled apart and go in for the night. Call it a day. Put some drops in the eye. don't think it's my eye. I think it's the eyelid. I don't know. Let's see. Still got one good eye. I was really surprised that it wasn't stuff in it, you know. I figured it'd have metal in it or dirt or none of that though. One more screw here. Yeah, we get all these off. And then we'll get the top off here, and basically the same procedure as the other side. Now the idle jet on this side will be on the outside of the carburetor. What's up, kitty cat? You guys hungry? Not dinner time yet. Not yet, Slick. Just put stainless steel hardware on these. This one doesn't want to come out. Come on, back up, cat. Back it up. Tops usually come off just that easy. Check the needle and seat, make sure it's free while you're right there. Set that one right there out of the way. Slow on the gasket, and you can usually use these a couple times as long as you don't get any transfer. That looks good. Remember, we got the little locking bar there. Looks like a little dog bone. I just grab it right by the brass, set it down. This carburetor looks good too. Pull our idle jet out. Then we'll get our main. So I got to do a video for Tom Duncan. I know he watches all of them. I can talk you through the color blender. Like I said, it's a suspender for a lot of the special metallics and candies. It can also be used for what you were talking about if you're doing a blend. Typically on gold, what happens is when you sand your panel with your blend panel, a lot of guys in the old days would get scratches. And if you take that 500, you can lay that down over your blend panel before you put any paint at all, and it'll cover all the scratch from the Scotch-Brite pad. So it won't give you any kind of, the metallics won't lay down in those scratches. It'll lay on top of that clear base. That can help your blend look undetectable. And then a lot of guys also will take and over reduce it, and they'll blow the edge of their blend wherever they stop. Go lay some of that 500 down. So I'm trying to get some good light here. No luck. See what we got for jets. That's a 155. That's pretty damn big. That is, well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even with the magnifying glass, I'm not seeing it. So I might have to get Hans to come out here. And that's a 140. I like that. That might be good. Let's see what we had in there. A 150 was in there. 135, that's even better. So we got a good selection here. 140, that's a pair. There's a pair, two 140s. 155. 55. It's an idle. 145. 145. And hopefully we got 135 here. All right. So we got 140s, 135s, 150s, 155s. And it had 155s in it, which is way too big for what we got. There's a 55 idle jet. That's the one I like. That's a good one. That's a custom one here. Hopefully there's another 55. I think that's a 55. I can't tell if it's a 5 or a 3. What we got here? Alrighty, well we got enough to do a little bit of a jet change. We'll go ahead and I'll do some calculations and see what we're going to go with. We'll do that in the morning. We'll go ahead and call it a night. We'll bolt this together first thing in the morning. I'll look at some numbers and we'll get these carbs back together. But they had a 155, so we have a 150, we got a 145, a 140, and a 135. So we have a pretty wide selection of main jets. So I think we're going to go with the 140 and try that. See what we got. That'll be had a 150 in it. 140 will be 10 sizes, which sounds like a lot, but if the heads weren't ported, this thing really should have about a 135 in it. So 140, 135, somewhere in there is where we're going to be on the main jet. And then the idle jets will go with the 55s. This should be really good. So do a quick plug check before we fire it back up. I did get a set of plugs. I think I got a new set of plugs in this one, I'm pretty sure. And I got to try to find a condenser for his distributor. And that's it. I'll probably just fire it back up with this 09, but because I know it works good and I got the timing set close. So, all right, man. I'll go put this up. Till tomorrow. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you then.